on the front row is the all-important championship battle. Christian Oblang in first place with Max Shields alongside Harry Brown and Sophie Pawsey on row 2, Harrison Johns and Owen Roberts on the third row. In this one, in Junior Pro Kart, as long as Maximus Shields finishes within 23 points in terms of their haul today of Christian Oblang, that will be enough for the 181 of Max Shields to not only take the title this year, but add to the championship in the same class that he won last year, which will make him a double champion in Junior Pro Kart in the Cadet and Junior Kart Championship. So effectively that means that as long as Shields finishes inside the top 4 in all the heats and third in the final, no matter what Oblag does throughout the day, it's going to be enough for Maximus Shields to be crowned the 2022 Junior Kart Champion in Junior Pro Kart. I'm just waiting for the final runners in our Honda Cadet class as Shields gets himself pumped up for this first race of the day in Junior Pro. Have a quick look at the live chat once again. Getting confirmation again that the answer for the opening of Hooton Park was indeed 2007. It took a year to get the circuit built and everything in place. Most of the people in the poll going for 1998 with 55%. In fact, 18% was the correct answer, and that was 2007. So we've been racing here at Hooton Park for 15 years. Standing start for Junior Pro. They're going to make their way round and into position for this one. I'm going to have a quick look at the results from some of the other races to see whether we've got anything coming in. I'll have a look at that in a few moments when this Junior Pro Kart, if this Junior Pro Kart race, of course, settles down. We have got some penalties coming in from Junior Rotax. So as the engine notes rise in Junior Pro, we're away and racing as Oblag bounces in the seat to try and get away. It's going to be a drag race to the first corner, but Shields moves over and slots into second place. Harry Brown and Sophie Pawsey are going to be side by side. Brown should have track position, and Harrison Johns tries to get down the inside. The 7 has taken out the 10 and the 77, and Sophie Pawsey just can't get away. There's a tyre up on the back of the 77 of Sophie Pawsey. She's going to have to get out and drag that kart back out of the tyre wall, but Owen Roberts on the inside has sent Sophie Pawsey and Harrison Johns off in evasive action as well. Pawsey into the tyres, and that kart, the tyre stuck on top, stops that kart going any further, and she has to get out and drag the 77 machine back onto track. Shields, though, leads the way from Oblang, having got past on the opening lap. Missed that off camera with all the excitement going on. Oblang bouncing over the curbs then in second place. Harry Brown is right there with as well in third place. A driver who knows his way around Hooton Park, although not seen him race the Junior Pro Kart. It's not a class that they run in the IKR here, not even off the back of the seniors that they race. So Brown, who's had some experience here in cadets and practicing, of course, in the Junior Pro Kart, but not in race format. So as this race settles itself down, as they begin lap 2, it's Shields, Oblang and Brown with Roberts, Johns and Pawsey, your top 6. Penalties applied in Junior Rotax. Saw Tom Holden, Bartek Filipiak given 5-second penalties for front fairing, drop down, and Jacob Stott, unfortunately, excluded from the standings for being underweight in that opening Junior Rotax race. Also, report coming in out of Micromax as well. Toby Dukes, unfortunately, excluded from the standings. Another driver underweight in that class. That drops him out of what was a very, very credible top 5 finish. He's gone all the way down and will pick up no points then for that race. Heat number 2 in Honda Cadet is clear, I believe. That's already in the consign, so that should be good to go. So that is in. Shields has moved away at the head of this Junior Pro Kart race and will do his championship challenge. No harm at all for Maximus Shields. Oblang in second place, still coming under pressure from Harry Brown, although they appear to have the measure of each other at different parts of the track, with Brown closing in the tighter infield section and Oblang having a little bit more on the opening few corners. So if Brown needs anything, he needs to stick with Oblang in the first few corners, uses a slipstream to close right up on the 76. And will do so again if he needs that run though round the second corner. I think that's where Oblang has enough to stop Brown trying to get a run down into this right-hander, although goes very, very wide, does Christian Oblang. Brown looks across to the inside. It's going to be a brave move from Harry Brown, but if he can force Christian Oblang to the inside, could get a much better run out of this corner and line this one up for the final corner and get a run down, start, finish, because Brown closed in on the previous lap. Can he do the same this time? Oblang obviously pushing, knowing that he needs something to close in on Maximus Shields. As we mentioned, Shields only needs certain finishes. This one is the closest of all the championships in terms of being settled at the end of the day, with Shields only needing 4th place in all of his heats, then a 3rd in the final, and that is on the basis that Christian Oblang wins all the races, which at the moment he's not going to do, because at half race distance, Shields is leading the way by a commanding margin, in fact, of 3.2 seconds on the previous lap. It could be out to even further this time. Fastest lap of the race by Shields of 40.654, 4/10 of a second quicker than Christian Oblang. In fact, 5/10, half a second quicker than anybody else out there. And Max Shields has opened the gap up to almost 4 seconds. Having a quick look at the weather forecast as well, because we were expecting rain here at Hooton Park for most of this weekend. But as at the moment, on the minute cast and on the radar, it's suggesting that nothing for at least the next 2 hours. So that's going to take us through to at least the lunch break here with no rain at Hooton Park. There is spots in and around the area. So we'll keep an eye out on the weather forecast. At the moment, though, at the front, it doesn't look like anything can stop Max Shields in this first race of the day in Junior Pro Kart. Gap out to beyond 4 seconds now, with Brown still keeping Christian Oblang honest for 2nd and 3rd respectively. Though on the last couple of laps, Oblang appears to have managed to have found a few tenths or so on Brown. It could well be that the tyres are just about coming good for Christian Oblang in the final phase of this race. Into the first corner they go. Oblang holding on to 2nd, but has 4.3 seconds to try and close up on Maximus Shields as they head down towards the hairpin at the bottom of the track. Through they come, and they'll be heading back up. This is a good chance here from this camera to show you where this Hooton Park track goes, because we keep cutting between the cameras. It doesn't really give you the clearest opportunity to see where everybody is on track and how it goes. But as you here at Hooton, the first corner is that first right. It's a right, and then you go into another right. Then you long run down into the hairpin. This is the first corner that they're coming into here then. And then it's another right-hander, which is exactly the same profile as turn 1. Then it's a long run down towards the hairpin at the bottom, but it's not a tight hairpin. The first part is, and then the corner runs out wide, which is why you see the drivers then not able to get that move done, really, because the corner opens up and gives the driver at the front more of an opportunity to come all the way round. So they bounce their way over the curb on the exit of that double apex left before they head down into the flat-out chicane. The top 3 now then fairly comfortable, although Owen Roberts does have a little bit of pace in terms of difference to Harry Brown. Has closed up on the last couple of laps, although on that one drops down 2 tenths further on the driver in 3rd place. There he is in the background. He has been closing in lap on Brown, but Brown has had enough to be moving away at the front of this one. 40 seconds remaining then in terms of time, so Shields will come through with enough this lap to have enough pace to get at least one more lap in, and then when they come through, it'll be the last lap for Maximus Shields. So Shields leading the way by 5.1 seconds from Christian Oblang and Harry Brown, with Owen Roberts setting a personal best as Max Shields now gets past Sophie Pawsey. That will drop Pawsey a lap down, although she is recovering after that opening lap incident, which took a heavy hit to the front of that cart and then involved her getting out. So her lap times are down ever so slightly to what we'd expect for Sophie Pawsey. She moves out of the way and allows Maximus Shields to come through and take through the victory, well, take the lead as he begins the last lap. So Pawsey not getting in the way. Shields then out onto the rumble strips here in these Junior Pro Karts. So Junior Pro Kart using the adult Pro Kart frame. The engines are the same, the engines that as cadets were using. They've got the cadet restrictor in. When they eventually do move up out of JKC into the seniors of this class, they take that restrictor out. It gives each engine around about a horsepower more. At the moment, they're currently pumping out around about 8. So when they go into senior spec, it's a lot nearer to 9. Out of the final corner then comes Max Shields. Does himself no harm at all. The champion-elect takes heat number 1 here in Junior Pro Kart. Pawsey crosses the line, albeit a lap down for 6th place. Oblang crosses for 2nd in front of Harry Brown, who drops away in the final few laps. So it holds on to 3rd place in front of Owen Roberts, and Harrison Johns will cross the line in around about 15 seconds time to be classified in 5th place. So we'll get to add the results in on the championship standings here in Junior Pro Kart for Max Shields and Christian Oblag.